Fáilte Rómha Cóide, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. We're here on lovely Achill Island, where the Achill Island Tourism have organised a seminar and a networking event with strategic partners to promote Achill Island as a tourism destination.
Hi Henry, what's happening here is Achill Tourism has organised a networking event for, I suppose, the partners behind the likes of ourselves. We're a social enterprise company on the island, and we're supported by a lot of agencies, the likes of Mayo County Council, Fáilte Ireland, and many more. That makes us tick, as the want for a better word. So we partnered with Mayo Northeast here, and Rita Hopkins and Justin Salmon in putting on an event where we brought all the agencies that supports the industry of tourism on the island. So we had 16 here today. All really, the idea was to put faces to the email names. The names of like Home to Mayo, Elaine White is nobody to anybody, but today she became alive in the room. And Mags Connell, and we all know well about Home to Mayo, and that's just another aspect of what happened here today. So our members, the members that are involved in tourism on the island, we're all invited here today, with them coming here to make friends and make acquaintance, and it's looking like it will be very successful, Henry.
You also brought in a couple of guest speakers as well.
Yes, we leaned on our own Kenneth Deary, who is CEO of the Chamber of Commerce in Galway, a great guy, very knowledgeable person. So we're expecting him to give a good keynote speech. And we also are very friendly with Ballina, and especially after Joe Biden. And Joe Biden's right-hand woman was Mags Downey in Ballina. So she's coming here today, and she's going to say a few words. And we're trying to get some inspiration off Mags. So that's the two keynote speakers. And from there, we're just going to have a little question and answer session, and then let the people all meet and mingle and have a nice cup of tea. And in fairness to Carl, has been more than generous with his time and help here, and the room is looking fantastic.
Yeah, delighted to be here, Henry. It was a wonderful morning. A lot of conversations being had, loads of connections being made, and collaboration. And that really was the theme of this morning's chat, was to encourage everybody to work together and to collaborate and come together, because it's all the better for any community group that they work together as a group and as a community.
And that certainly has worked for you in Ballina Chamber of Commerce, because you've had a phenomenal year last year, 2023.
We have, Henry. We're just coming out the other end of it now. It was a full-on 18 months. I know it was a 12-year experience throughout 2023, but we were planning that in the middle of 2020 during the C word, during COVID. So there was a lot of planning that went into the last year, and now we're out the other end. It's been phenomenal, and now is the time to reflect and see where we go forward. But all of that happened because of collaboration, because of connections, because of working together, put aside thoughts and feelings about other groups within the town, and just come together and make the town plan for the future. That was what we wanted to do for Ballina 2023.
And speaking of planning for the future, I know that the jewel in the crown in Ballina is the Ballina Salmon Festival, and this year, it's hard to believe, it celebrated 60 years.
It is 60 years in operation. Phenomenal when you think of a community festival. It has had its highs and lows. We had an amazing year last year. We came out of COVID in 2022, had big numbers. People came out and supported the festival then. And this year, 2024, is our big one. So 1964 was the very, very first salmon festival, and it started with the Moy Swim. And thankfully, the Moy Swim is still part of the festival this year, coming on the 13th of July. So we have big plans in place after last year. We're still buzzing. We still want people to come to Ballina, and we want them to come to Ballina from the 6th to the 14th of July during 2024.
So my name is Barbara O'Neill, I'm the Adult Guidance Counsellor for MSL-ETB. So we provide guidance throughout the county of Mayo. So our service has two prongs, but I'll talk about our service and then I'll talk about the overall role of MSL-ETB as well. So our service has an information part where anybody can use that service. So anybody from the public can come in and ask for information on what we in MSL-ETB run or any other courses, because we're an impartial service, which is really good. And then we provide guidance as well to those who might be still unsure about what we do. In order for us to provide guidance to you, you have to be out of the school system. So for those who might see themselves using this as an opportunity, the guidance counsellor in the school will speak to you if you're still in a school setting. So MSL-ETB runs so many courses throughout the region. So we range from basic education, so somebody who wants to come back and look at their literacy, numeracy, digital skills. It ranges across. If you go into the motor tax office today, you have to use so many different parts of digital skills in order to be able to do that. So we support people at all levels. We run courses then at many different areas like tourism, hospitality, and today we're here in Achill looking at the tourism and hospitality areas. So out in Mayo Abbey we have a fabulous programme in relation to cooking and catering. Here in Achill we have many different Achill Outdoor Education Centre here behind me. As well as that we have a course in marine and countryside guides management here. So these things help tourism in our area, and digital skills really important. Also skills for work and skills to advance are beside me here, where they can provide programs free to people who are in employment and who want to upskill. So it might be that you say, oh God, I'd really like to know something about social media, or my social media skills are poor, but I'd need to promote my business. So you have the opportunity of going online and doing a course like that. Oh, there's something else, might be mental health in the workplace. Opportunities for staff to come in and do a 2-day course on something like mental health in the workplace. Really good for people to identify what are the skills, what are the signs.
How's the Irish language doing on Achill Island?
So it's Misha Cullamacauraki, August me offer plan on Lachanga, le Mayo here. So really, my job is developing the language in this part of West Mayo, which is essentially Achill. And I suppose we've seen a decrease over decades, and which has brought us to this point when the language plan has just sort of beginning now. The revival really is kind of, we've hit low tide and the kind of revival is underway. So in terms of speakers, about 7 or 8% of the population is using Irish on a daily basis, in some way. And I suppose in terms of revival, there's a huge amount of positivity. There's a lot, my role is organising activities, classes, just creating opportunities for those who want to use it, Agus tá lán ar siúla sin, agus tá lán daoine dearfa faoi, agus so ó híh mo chud taide man chud taithí féin, tá afio chun láidir ar siúl. So I can see a really positive revival. Putting that into numbers, I suppose you see, only when the census comes out do you see that your numbers of Irish speakers are, so that's another 5 years down the road. But in terms of the attitude of the public, in terms of participation in everything that's going on, there's massive interest and massive uptake.
You're CEO of Galway Chamber of Commerce, so people have a lot to learn here from what you had to say today.
Yeah, and listen, nowhere has, I suppose, delivery solved fully, but there's a lot of great things happening in Galway, and I think the model that's being used and some of what we're doing in Galway could really help the west of Ireland. The way I look at Galway is it's the city driving the region. It's the largest city for the Western Territory, and I think we have a responsibility to make sure that the communities around us are equally progressing, thriving, and trying to just do their best to get their share of funding, to get their market share of tourism or whatever that business opportunity is. So from my point of view, I talk about Galway, but I always talk about the region and the west of Ireland, and I think they're two together.
Now, in your speech, of course, just on that particular point, we still have a very parochial outlook, and you were saying to the audience here, look, we need to be more collected and work together, all the entities working together. And as a region, not just Achill versus Westport or Galway, it has to be regional.
Has to be regional. And I think it comes from a point of fear sometimes. People are afraid that if someone up the road or down the road gets an idea or potentially takes your idea, it could somehow disadvantage you. I think we need to turn that totally on its head. The competition is not up the road or the near county. The competition, when people are looking on a global basis about coming to the west of Ireland, the competition is Lisbon, the competition is Greece, the competition are these other places who have different offerings and propositions. And I think we really have to work collectively together as communities up and down the Wild Atlantic Way, which is in its 10th year, and actually really grab that ball and say, how are we going to work collectively together? What are the projects that are important to us? So I think one of the pieces that I was chatting to was, what do we want to be? How do we measure the performance of a community like Achill as it is at the moment, and where do we want to get to? And at that very basic level, we don't have some of those questions answered yet. So we need to answer those and then build a plan around it. And part of it then is the consensus messaging. How do we collectively go, and no matter who it is or who they are within the community, no matter where they meet a minister or a councillor or someone in a decision of power, we have the same message. We have that consistency, we know collectively what it is we want, and we also know what good will look like, and we can measure it. So I think that's really important, that we put data behind what we're trying to do, and then we just empower people with the same message.
Hello, my name is Gerard Ski, and this is Jason Garrity, and we're taking over formerly Garrity Charters, which now is known as Wild West Tours, and we're accommodating fishing trips and the Crowhan Cliffs in Inishgay, fishing trips and private sailings, and we're doing kids' adventures in the evening. And we intend to get into a lot of sea angling fishing for the serious angler and also the novice angler. So we're hoping everything will go well for us, and I will hand you over to Jason for a second.
How many boats have you, Jason?
We have 2 boats in the fleet now, but hopefully do a third one in by the summer anyways. Thank God. Each boat is licensed for 12 passengers, 2 crew.
Fáilte, you're very welcome back to part 2 of the programme. Just to remind you, we're coming to you from the Ostan Ilon Acla and Achill Sound, where a tourism seminar is in full swing.
Southwest Mayo Development Company, Henry, was founded in 1991 to deliver the European Leader Programme in the area. And the Leader Programme is a European initiative that tries to support communities to, create their own enterprises, their own community facilities, and support social enterprise in an area.
Now, you've actually been involved in a number of projects in this area where we are in Achill, most recently the Dugard Heritage Trail.
Yeah, we're delighted to be in Achill today at this networking event, and just last week the Slievemore Heritage Trail was opened, and that uses augmented reality to interpret a really important heritage site in Achill, and it allows people that are maybe slightly immobilised to enjoy that heritage and history.
Graham, you're a singer-songwriter, you also run a business here on Achill Island. I suppose that both of them are kind of intertwined in one way or the other, but let's go to the music first. Traditional music plays a huge part of tourism, particularly on an island like Achill.
Big time, yeah. I suppose, obviously, traditional music is a big draw to people from the West, but aside from the kind of main pub culture and what people often refer to as diddly eye, which is kind of nearly tarnished some of the traditional elements of music. I got into traditional music only later in my musical life in the last few years, really, and just finding the beauty of some of the more elegantly composed pieces, some of the O'Carolan pieces, and also some of the music of Achill.
Now, your other line of business is surf school.
Yeah, so surfing, I've been surfing since I was about 8 years old, learned on Keel Beach. From there, I loved surfing all through my teenage years, and in my 20s I surfed all over the world, always with the idea to come home. And during COVID, with the fact that my musical career was kind of just put on hold for 2 years, I said, right, now's my time. So I came home and I started the surf school, and yeah, that tied in just at the time where I got really interested in the traditional tunes and the music of Achill, and just wanted to kind of help bring what I had learned and develop more of a cultural hub in Achill. So that's really, the surf school and the music, they work hand in hand. Soundwave is my business, and it's a music surf hybrid.
We wish you well with it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Our main office is in Foxford. We also have offices in Ballina, Belmullet, Westport, and our main focus in Mayo North East, we manage a number of different programmes. Most people would know the Leader programme and the Social Inclusion and Community Activation programme as well. So as well as managing TUS and CE schemes, there's a number of different programmes managed by Mayo North East Leader. I'm involved with the Social Inclusion and Community Activation programme, and we support local community groups and social enterprise and support individuals into training, employment, self-employment and so on. So it's very varied work. We've just launched our 5-year social inclusion strategy for Mayo. So we worked in collaboration with Southwest Mayo Development Company, and this is going to guide the work of the 2 local development companies to support social enterprises. So social enterprises in Mayo were consulted on their needs, and a set of recommendations were written in this document, which we are going to use to guide our work for the next 5 years.
We've launched our new infographic so that people have an idea of the scope of the work we do in Mayo Sports Partnership, and I have it here with me. I'm the Physical Activity for Health Officer myself, so that's a new initiative with Mayo Sports Partnership. So currently we're rolling out strength and conditioning classes for bone health for women in their 40s. You might remember me from the Activator Pull project in Curran, Mulranny and Kiel last year. So that was an initiative getting people active and out on the Fitstick trails in Achill.
Very successful.
Yes, and you know what? It's sustainable because now we have community leaders who are leading out on that project. And on Tuesday mornings, you can go walking in Kiel. Wednesday, you can go walking in Curran, and it's led by the local people themselves. So they're really dynamic and enthusiastic about keeping it going. The latest thing also that's hit Achill is pickleball. I have a bat here. If you're not familiar with pickleball, Henry, this is the pickleball bat. America, it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Apparently pickleball and paddle are big in the US, and we have it here in Mayo and we have it here in Achill. It's a racket sport and it's for everybody. It's fun to learn, easy to learn, and I'd encourage people to get involved. Lacanvi is the hotspot in Mayo for pickleball. They play every day of the week. Here in Achill we play on a Tuesday and Thursday, so invite people to come and enjoy.
Mairead, one of the great success stories here on Achill Island, from a healthy perspective, of course, was the Fitsticks programme, which you were very much involved in.
Yeah, that was a collaboration with Mayo Sports Partnership and has been hugely successful, Henry, at engaging all the community, young and old, on it. And you will have spoken to Adele O'Malley and Mayo Sports Partnership on that. So I suppose that's one of the main successes of this Launch Care programme. So now we're looking at what else is available in Achill, and as you can see, it is its own natural resource. So we're now working with Mayo, Sligo, Leitrim, ETB, Achill Outdoor Pursuits, and getting the community involved in green and blue social prescribing. So that's how your local environment can improve your health and your mental health. So we've been running classes with TY students and the local community in the Achill Outdoor Pursuits Centre, looking at stuff around seaweed from a health and an economic point of view, looking at how fish and how that works and how it builds our health. And if it is a patch on the success of the Activator Polls programme on engaging people, I'll be delighted. So we're just at the start of that particular project now, but we all know that getting out and about in nature, involving yourself and getting out even for 30 minutes improves your mental and your physical health. And it also improves your connections at home. You feel better about yourself, you engage better with your family, you engage better with young people. And it links in as well into the climate action plan within Mayo County Council and the environment plan there, looking at biodiversity and how we can look after it. And within this area as well is a Gaeltacht area, so we're working with the Irish Language Office as well on how we can deliver our services as Gaelga to improve people's health and improve the community's health, because we are what we live and we are where we grow. So that's what I'm at the moment.
So we're here today to promote, there's three aspects, I suppose. There's the Home to Mayo event, which is a month-long celebration of everything that is Mayo. It's a huge opportunity for people from outside of Mayo, our diaspora really, abroad and at home, to come back to Mayo and celebrate with us for a month. Also we have Mayo Day, which is on the 4th of May in Balmullet this year, and Mayo Day International, which is happening in Chicago in Gaelic Park. So there's three big tourism and diaspora events going on, and I suppose as part of Mayo Day falls under Home to Mayo. Home to Mayo is a fund opportunity available for groups to host events during the month that's really promoting people to come home, take part and visit Mayo during the month of May.
And are you getting a good response through the Home to Mayo initiative?
Yeah, there's a huge uptake on it at the minute. There's lots of potential events going to be happening across the month of May. Like walk-in tours and local events like that are really getting the community involved and bringing people home.
Tourism plays a vital part in your business.
Yes, it does, Henry, and events like this are really important for the tourism industry, that people are networking and coming to events like this, especially during the winter time, to get ready for the summer season ahead.
So your own business then?
My own business is Blacksad Se Safari. We're based in Blacksad. We do trips to the Inski Islands and to the Crohan Cliffs in Achill from Dugart. And there's a new pontoon going out into the pier in Dugart this year, which is going to be a massive help for us for getting the passengers on board safely. So hopefully this year will be a busy year for us in Achill.
And are they pleasure trips?
Yeah, we leave Dugart and you go back along the Seal Caves, go into Anna Beach, you go back to Long Slieve Moor and around by the Crohan Cliffs then. And they're spectacular. They're the highest sea cliffs in Ireland, and they're 3 times higher than the Cliffs of Moher. They're really spectacular to see from the water.
And how many passengers can you take on a trip like that?
12 on the boats, Henry, and we have a ribbed in the fast boat. It's people enjoy that too, the adrenaline of going fast. That can carry 10 passengers, where you're sat down and nice and comfortable, and anyone that likes the adrenaline rush, that's the one to go on. When you're doing a job you love, Henry, it's not a job. Every day you go across the hill and to Blacksad there and go with the boats, it's not work, it's like a day out,
How do people get in touch with you?
They can check out our Facebook page or Instagram page, and we have a website where people can book online at blacksadsesafari.ie.
Well, hopefully you'll have a great summer.
Hopefully the sun will be shining for us, Henry. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our show from Achill Island, and it might be no harm to put it in your diary as a must-visit destination this year. I guarantee you there'll be a big Kate Meal of Fáilte awaiting you. So until next week at the same time, slán go fóill.